Most people spend years building up their savings, putting money into their 401k, their brokerage account, maybe some index funds, and they never stop to ask one simple question. What happens to all of that if the economy takes a serious hit? That's not me trying to scare you. That's just a question worth having an answer to. And for a lot of people right now, part of that answer is going to be gold and silver. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly why that is, what makes precious metals worth considering, and the different ways you can actually get started. And also one specific option I think a lot of people sleep on when it comes to their retirement savings. My name is Alex, aka your money friend. And by the end of this, you'll have a clear picture of whether this is something that actually makes sense for you or not. Either way, you'll know, so let's get into it. Why people are buying gold and silver right now. Here's the basic idea. When a government spends more than it takes in, it has to make up the difference somehow. And one of the ways that happens is by printing more money. More dollars in the circulation means each individual dollar is worth a little bit less. So that's the simplest way I could explain inflation, okay? And it's been a real problem lately. I mean, the US dollar had its worst first half performance in 50 years in 2025. And some projections suggest it could lose another 10% of its value by the end of 2026. Now think about what that means for your savings. If your money is sitting in cash or even in assets tied closely to the dollar, it's quite literally losing purchasing power every single year. And you might not feel it day by day, but over a decade, it adds up significantly. But the good thing is gold and silver work differently. They're physical, they're scarce, and you can't manufacture more of them overnight. And because of that, they've actually historically held their value during the exact periods when paper money hasn't. That's not a new idea. People have understood this for thousands of years, but it's especially relevant right now, given where things stand economically. All right, so gold versus silver, which one is right for you? A lot of people treat gold and silver like they're the same thing, but they're not. And understanding the difference matters before you put in any money. I would say gold is the more straightforward of the two. It's stable, it moves slowly, and it's been the go-to safe haven asset for centuries. The thing people hold on to when everything else feels uncertain. It doesn't pay you dividends or interest, but that's kind of the point. You're not holding gold to get rich, you're holding it to protect what you already have. Silver is a completely different story. Yes, it's a precious metal, but it's also a major industrial material. Solar panels, electronics, electric vehicles. I mean, silver's a critical component in all of it. And that means its price is influenced by two things at once: investor demand and real world industrial demand. So that dual demand gives silver more upside potential than gold, but it also makes it more unpredictable. So here's a quick way to think about it really simply. If your main goal is stability and protection, lean toward gold. If you're okay with more volatility in exchange for more potential growth, silver is worth including. And if you want both, a mix of the two is perfectly a reasonable approach. There's no single right answer here. It really comes down to what you're trying to accomplish and how much risk you're comfortable with. The ways you can actually invest. Now, there are three main ways most people invest in gold and silver, and each one has its own trade-offs. Option one is physical gold and silver. This is the most direct route, okay? You buy actual coins or bars and you own them outright. There's something genuinely appealing about that. It's not a number on the screen. It's not tied to any company or financial institution. You own it, full stop. The practical downside is the storage, right? You need somewhere to keep it, whether that's at home, in a safe, a safety deposit box, or a third-party vault. And if you're holding a meaningful amount, insurance is probably worth thinking about. If you're thinking about going this route, stick to investment grade options, right? You have American Gold Eagles, Canadian Maple Leafs, standard silver bars from reputable dealers. I would say avoid collectible coins or jewelry. Those carry extra costs that have nothing really to do with the actual metal value. And then so let's get into option two now. Option two is ETFs. An ETF is an exchange traded fund. And this pretty much lets you get exposure to gold or silver prices without dealing with any of the physical storage side of things. You buy shares through a regular brokerage account. The fund holds the physical metal on your behalf. And when the price of gold goes up, your shares go up with it. It's simple, it's low cost, it's easy to get started with, even if you only have a small amount to invest. Most major brokerages let you buy fractional shares, so there's really no minimum barrier. The one thing you need to understand though is that you don't actually own the physical metal. You own shares of a fund that does. For most people, that's completely fine, but it's a distinction worth knowing. All right, now let's get into option 3, a gold or silver IRA. And this is the one I really want to make sure you understand because it's genuinely underused. And I think it's one of the ways, and I personally think it's one of the smartest ways to approach this. All right, especially if you're thinking long term. Most people assume that IRAs are just for stocks and mutual funds, but you can actually hold physical gold and silver inside retirement accounts. This is called a self-directed IRA. And when you set it up as a Roth IRA specifically, meaning you contribute money you've already paid taxes on, your investments grow completely tax-free. Augusta Precious Metals. If the gold IRA option caught your attention, I want to show you a company called Augusta Precious Metals. Augusta specializes specifically in gold and silver IRAs. And what I think makes them stand out is their approach. A lot of companies in this space are pretty aggressive about getting you to open up an account. Augusta does the opposite. They focus heavily on education first. Before you commit to anything, they want to make sure you actually understand how this works, what the fees look like, how the process works, and whether it even makes sense for your specific situation. So let me show you guys the steps on how to actually get access to this. Just go ahead and go to their page. I'll leave it linked in the description down below. Okay, you're gonna see the only thing that you actually need to enter in to get to your checklist is just your first name, your last name, your email, and your phone number. There's also a number right here that allows you to speak to an agent. If you continue to scroll, you can see how reputable they are. They also give you some learning information on here. So does your gold IRA company pass the ethics test? So here are kind of the main 3 selling points for them. They're fast, they're easy, and they're reliable. It's kind of their slogan. So it only takes 15 minutes to get started. 3 simple steps. They do most of the paperwork for you, which is really awesome. They're really reliable in the sense that they continue account lifetime support. If you do decide to move forward, the process is pretty simple. Their team helps you open a self-directed IRA and walks you through rolling over funds from an existing 401k or IRA, right? And when this is done correctly, that rollover doesn't trigger any taxes or penalties. From there, you pick the metals you want to hold and they're stored in a secure IRS approved insured vault. All right, the link to check them out is going to be in the description below. Full transparency, it is an affiliate link, so we do earn a small commission if you use it at no extra cost to you, right? That's what keeps this channel going and lets us keep making free content like this. But regardless of whether you use our link or not, if you've been thinking about diversifying your retirement savings, it's genuinely worth at least requesting that free checklist and seeing what you think. Before we wrap up, a few honest reminders. Precious metals are not a replacement for a diversified portfolio, right? Most experts suggest keeping somewhere between 5% and 15% of your total investments in metals. The goal is balance, not going all in on any single asset class. This is a long-term play. Gold and silver are not the right tool if you're looking for quick returns or passive income. They don't pay dividends. They don't generate cash flow. Their job is to hold value over time. Historically, they do that job really well. So don't invest based on hype. Precious metals have had a strong run recently. That's not a reason by itself to buy in, but understand why you're adding them to your portfolio and what role they're meant to play. At the end of the day, gold and silver aren't exciting investment. They're not going to make you rich overnight, but that's kind of the point. In a world where a lot of things feel uncertain, markets, inflation, the value of the dollar, having a portion of your portfolio in something stable and tangible is just smart planning. If you want to explore the gold IRA route, Augusta Precious Metals is a great place to start. Their free info kit is linked in the description down below. No pressure, just information. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. We post new videos every week covering investing and all the money stuff that actually matters in real life. Thanks for watching. My name is Alex, aka Your Money Friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.